They scrubbed her from TV like she never existed. The boat that braved storms taller than buildings? Gone. The crew scattered, the captain erased. And the reason? It's darker than anything the Bering Sea could throw at you. This is the story Discovery never wanted you to hear. For over a decade, the Cornelia Marie wasn't just a crab boat. She was the soul of Deadliest Catch. Her bright aquamarine hull, that flash of yellow banners on the horizon, it meant danger, grit, and record-breaking hauls. She carried the Harris name through storms, tragedy, and some of the most emotional moments reality TV has ever shown. But in 2022, one revelation wiped her from the airwaves in a matter of hours. To understand why, we have to start at the very beginning, with steel, sweat, and a captain whose heart was as big as the Bering Sea. August 2022. Fans logging onto Discovery Plus noticed something strange. Every episode with the Cornelia Marie? Gone. Spin-offs like Deadliest Catch, Bloodline? Gone. Even social media posts and promotional clips deleted. It wasn't a glitch, it was deliberate. And it all traced back to a single court record from more than 2 decades ago. Something so explosive it could destroy not just a man's career, but the legacy of one of the most famous boats in the world. But before we get to that, you need to know why her disappearance hit so hard. Because the Cornelia Marie was no ordinary vessel. Bayou La Barre, Alabama, 1989. At the Horton Boat Shipyard, a man named Elmo Horton was building what would be his last great vessel before the industry changed forever. This wasn't just any build. This was a 128-foot, 28-foot wide, 11.7-foot draft steel monster, designed to laugh in the face of the Bering Sea. She was powered by twin 750 horsepower Cummins QSK-19M diesel engines, giving her a top speed of 14.5 knots. Crucial when every hour could mean the difference between beating a storm or being swallowed by it. Her fuel tanks could hold 28,500 gallons. Her freshwater tanks 3,000. Enough to push deep into the crab grounds without turning back. The price tag? $2.5 million. A fortune at the time. But this boat wasn't built for luxury. She was built for war. Heavy steel plating, reinforced hull, and the muscle to carry the biggest hauls in the fleet. Her name came not from myth or marketing, but love. Named after Cornelia Marie Collins, the wife of the man who commissioned her, Ralph Collins. Cornelia wasn't just a figurehead, she worked alongside Ralph in the fishing business. Even after their divorce, she became co-owner and the name stayed on the hull. When she first appeared in Alaska, with her aquamarine paint and yellow trim, she was impossible to miss. A splash of brightness in a world of weather-beaten grays. From the start, the Cornelia Marie targeted the big money species, king crab, opilio, salmon, and herring. Her size gave her an edge in the brutal, short crab seasons. She could stay out longer, endure worse weather, and bring in more catch. Her reputation for toughness grew fast. In 2005, when the Big Valley went down, the Cornelia Marie joined the search for survivors. Only one man was found alive. Moments like that forged her image. Not just a fishing boat, but a lifeline in the deadliest seas on Earth. In the late 90s, a major refit extended her by 22 feet, boosting her crab capacity by 100,000 pounds. She could now haul over 300,000 pounds in one trip. A game changer when the clock was ticking and the competition was fierce. While other boats went bankrupt or sank, the Cornelia Marie endured. She was efficient, reliable, and profitable, the perfect candidate for TV. Phil Harris didn't just fish, he lived it. Born in Bothell, Washington, he was on the water with his father by age 8. By 17, he'd quit school to chase the crab boom. His first year was a bust, but by 19, he made $130,000. Enough to buy a new car and never look back. At 21, he owned his first boat, the Golden Viking. Phil's early years were brutal. Debt, breakdowns, a $50,000 emergency repair bill that nearly sank him before he got started. But he earned a reputation for pushing through when others quit. He was tough, loyal, and blunt to the point of poetry. Lines like, "I feel like a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest." Now you know why lions eat their young. Phil was also human. 2 divorces, substance abuse, and a lifestyle of chain smoking, bottomless coffee, and Red Bull that would eventually catch up to him. When Discovery Channel launched Deadliest Catch, they started with a list of over 250 boats. They narrowed it to 89, then just 4 for a permanent feature. The Cornelia Marie made the cut because of her catches, and because of Phil. Phil brought his sons, Josh and Jake, on board, not for show, but because he wanted the boat to stay in the family. On camera, we saw them learn the ropes, and clash with their father when the captain in him overruled the dad. January 29, 2010, docked at St. Paul Island, Alaska, Phil collapsed while offloading crab. A massive stroke. The crew called for help. EMTs stabilized him and he was flown to Anchorage. At first it seemed miraculous. He squeezed hands, spoke, even joked. But hope is cruel. A sudden brain bleed ended it. On February 9, 2010, Phil died at just 53. When the episode Redemption Day aired, 5.4 million viewers tuned in. They cried with the Harris family. They lost a captain, but also a friend. Josh and Jake wanted to keep the Cornelia Marie fishing, but they didn't own her outright. Buying the rest was expensive, and the boat needed costly repairs. Negotiations with Cornelia Marie Devlin, the co-owner, were tense. Loans were hard to get. Investors didn't trust them. Josh eventually teamed with Casey McManus in 2015. Josh bought 45%, Casey 5%, and 2 outside investors took 25% each. They replaced the engines with new 750 horsepower Cummins diesels and kept her on the show. Jake's life spiraled. DUI in 2010, drug charges in 2017, heroin distribution, and prison in 2019. Josh battled depression, anxiety, and the constant stress of captaining both a boat and a brand. Derek Ray, interim captain after Phil's death, clashed with the brothers. He accused Jake of using drugs on board and even called police to scare him straight. Morale collapsed. At one point, the crew nearly mutinied. Filming wasn't easy. Producers sometimes delayed trips for better lighting or pushed crews into storms for drama. Safety and storytelling didn't always align. Subscribe now. The next story is even more unbelievable.